Clients. The Communify Viewcast Cloud PBX provides clients for all common platforms like Windows, macOS, Linux for your desktop, and Android and iOS for your mobile devices. We've laid our focus on a uniform user experience on every platform. So if you know how to use the desktop client on your PC, you know how to use the mobile client as well. Also, it's very important for us to include all our platform capabilities in the client. In the first part of the two videos, I will guide you through the DesktopControl client. As you can see here, the DesktopControl on my Windows device has different areas. The first one on the right upper corner here is indicating the call mode. Our client supports multiple call modes, such as the voice over IP or softphone mode that acts as a softphone and transports the audio. In this case, the complete communication is encrypted on the signaling and on the speech path. But it can also be set into a CTI mode to remote control your SIP hardphone or your mobile device. On the left side, next to your avatar picture, you can control your rich presence. The rich presence states are set by the administrator of the company, and you can select them here. Further down, you can search for a name or a phone number, or you can put in a phone number that you want to dial. Here, you can use the dial pad to dial it manually. Down there, you have the function keys where you can provision like physical phones on your phone for functionalities and numbers that you use regularly. Down there, you have your personal favorites that you can group yourself based on your requirements. For instance, you can manage and set groups that you can do with group management in a very comfortable way, where you can put in the contacts that you are in contact with on a regular basis. When you hover over the contacts, you get an indication what you can do. You can either make a phone call, a video call. If it's an internal virtual PBX contact, you can make an instant messaging session or drop an email. If you click on the contact itself, you see all the relevant personal information coming from the phone book. Around the avatar, you see here a color encoding rich presence, and also here you see it in a textual format. The rich presence, that is a mix of dialog state, also known as BZLAMP, and the rich presence that is set here manually by the subscriber. See here, Ferenc, for instance, is in a call, and Martin Grech is presenting something on Microsoft Teams. Next up here, you see the different tabs of the client. Next to the favorites, there is the contacts tab that shows you all the phone books of this particular user, which is an aggregation of the platform phone book of the virtual PBX. This keeps all the extensions. You see here, you can also do the same like before with making an audio and video call, making an instant message session or dropping an email. You can have your private contacts that you can upload through a CSV or vCard or managed through the self-care web portal, or that has been automatically synced with the MAPI application through your Outlook. The next one here is the Recents tab. The Recents tab is showing all the sessions, basically the calls. You can filter them on inbound, on outbound, or on missed calls basis. When you have multiple missed calls, like here, Andre tried to reach me a couple of times. When I click here, I see exactly the timestamp. So it groups multiple missed calls together and gives you a nice overview on that one. Of course, when I hover here, I can make a phone call, a video call, or send him an instant message. Another thing what we did here on the Recents tab is that we aggregated the unified messaging box. So this means when we click here on the voicemail, you see all the voicemail messages that have been left for this particular user. When I click here on the voicemail
Die
message,
große Plaudertasche.
I can listen to it immediately. When I did this, the message waiting indicators and the counters on my other devices will be updated. I can delete the message from the unified messaging box, or I can make a callback, drop an email, or if it's another contact, I can make an instant message. The next part of the unified messaging box is the electronic fax. So if the user has the electronic fax feature assigned, all the inbound faxes are shown here. When you click on the fax number on this fax item here, you see the related PDF displayed here in a PDF reader. The next one on the unified messaging box are the recordings. So if the user has the ad hoc, on demand, or the PCR permanent assigned, he can access here his recordings, can have a listen to it,
Session on demand.
and or
Oder
delete it or download it. The next tab is the Chats tab, which gives you an overview on the active instant messaging chat sessions that you have with colleagues. The Communify UCaaS Cloud PBX has a built-in instant messaging chat functionality that allows you to chat one-to-one or one-to-many. If you want to continue an already established chat session, you just hover through the contact and click this chat session here. If you want to start a new conversation with a user, you can use this button here, create a one-to-one chat or a group chat. Let me get to this chat session here and use my demo user. What you can see here by doing so, it loads the message history from the server. And here you can see what you can do. You can drop messages, timestamps, of course. You can add pictures to the conversation. You can add files. You can do this by a file chooser or by dragging in the relevant file to the message session here. And you can augment your messages with emoticons. When I send here, for instance, a session, you will see indicated by the arrows here that the message has been delivered to the user's chat client. Please note that we are always doing a client-server communication. So whenever I place a message here, it will be sent to the server, and from the server it will be distributed to the recipient's devices. So we have always a sync of the messages between the devices. When I click here, I can also enable a second chat or multiple chat sessions. Here, for instance, a group session. So you see here the group icon. We have two different versions of them, one without the tie, one with the tie. The difference here is that the icon with the tie is representing groups that have been set up by the administrator, such as a marketing team that cannot be modified, and the other one are group conversations that I can set up myself by doing the management here. So I'm clicking the button here. There's a test group. You can put a label here, and then I just select the users that I want to involve in this group. After I press OK, they will receive an invitation and I can start chatting with them. This is a very useful tool for discussing some internal projects or so, because the messages never leave the Cloud PBX UCaaS server. When I select another chat session, for instance, I select Andre here, you will see that the messages are tabbed here. So I can have multiple conversations at once. Another part what you can do in our client is to have settings to adapt it to your needs. For instance, in the general, to set the language and the time zone. Here you can do the synchronization with Microsoft Outlook. You can set the interval that you want to do. So it takes it through the MAPI interface from Outlook, the contacts, and uploads it to the platform. Here you can select the audio codecs and the devices, same for video. On the advanced, you can, for instance, choose your presence, the presence when you start the app, what presence state should be presented, or also when the computer is locked or unlocked. A very important part is that you can control the call features through keyboard shortcuts. So for instance, here you can set them. So it's either a default or you can override this default with your own choice. One thing that I'm very often use is the dial selected number, where I select a phone number or a string on a website or any other application. And with Ctrl F12 in this case, it dials the number. On my devices, I can control my phones that I'm using and also put in new numbers that I can use in the features panel, for instance, for parallel ringing scenario. This brings me to the feature panel itself. This is a very easy way to interact with call features, for instance, to set up a call forwarding by just selecting the destination and activating it. You can also log yourself in if you're part of a call queue or a call center. You can select the particular call queue and log yourself in, or you can hide your caller ID or present another callback number. Another thing what you can do is, and this is the way I'm using the present states, is that you bind a special call forwarding treatment to a present state. For instance, when I do not want to be disturbed and I select the Do Not Disturb feature, I want that all my inbound calls are redirected to voicemail. So this is what I can set here. And whenever I choose the Do Not Disturb feature up here, the call forwarding unconditional to voicemail or to the selected target will be engaged. So let me show you here how the calling works. So let me call here the user. So what you see here is that you have a call box. So when I accept this number here, you see that the call box resides here, that I can put in DTMF if I want, if I'm in an IVR context or so, I can do that here. I can enable video. So from a voice call, I can upgrade it to a video call. I can upgrade it to a screen sharing call if I want to. I can select the screens or the application I want to share. I can start the recording.
Starting to record.
So you see there was an announcement, because in some countries it's a legal obligation to indicate that this call is recorded. I can put the call on hold, for instance. I can make a second one, do a consultation
Welcome to
call,
your
toggle
personal
between the
voicemail box.
devices,
Please
or
enter your voicemail
make
number and
a
press the
conference
pound
call.
key.
This is all you can do. Or you can, of course, make a parallel chat
Welcome
session.
to your personal voicemail box. Please enter your voicemail
This
number.
same behavior here, what you see with the call boxes, is available, of course, in the voice over IP, in the softphone mode, as well as in the CTI mode, where you remote control your phones. So this was the end of part 1, the desktop control client.